We pulling?
What's up? I'm Jimfro, and this is the Ready Check Pull Boss Guide to Fractillus on Normal and Heroic. Big thank you to our supporters on Patreon. We've completely overhauled our Patreon exclusive content this tier with early access, extended heroic walkthroughs, and a bunch more. Fractillus is the 6th boss of the raid. It's a pure single target fight, and you'll want a Bloodlust on pull. First thing you'll need to do is place 6 world markers in front of the boss, one for each pie slice of the room, like this. This is for the wall placements and wall breaks. The current tank will always be in lane 6 on square, and the entire raid will always reset to lane 5 on moon. Now, we all know a better strat will probably come out once a weak aura is made, and when it does, I'll drop that in the Ready Check Pull Discord. But for now, here's the no weak aura strat. Since the boss doesn't move, you'll start the fight right where he's at. The raid will stack up on the moon world marker. This is your always safe lane, meaning no wall should ever spawn here. And the tank will start on square. The boss will target 4 players to drop walls. Those players need to go to lanes 1, 2, 3, and 4 and wait for their walls to spawn. You can see which lane each wall will spawn in using these lines on the ground and this arrow coming from the boss to each player. Once the walls spawn, they do big dot damage to any one hit, and the dot stacks, so getting hit by 2 walls at once is super bad. Once the walls pass through, those players need to get back to lane 5 on the moon marker. Then the tank will take Shockwave Slam on square, which is a massive hit to the tank and spawns their own wall in that lane, and the other tank needs a taunt swap right after the cast. Then, 4 more players get targeted to drop walls. Again, they go to lanes 1, 2, 3, and 4 and wait for their walls to spawn and then instantly run back to the safe lane. So that's first group of walls, then the tank wall, then second group of walls. Now immediately after the second group of walls, a few random players will get targeted with a debuff that allows them to pick which lane they want to get backhanded in. You need to use these targeted players to get backhanded into the walls to break them, so spread them out as best as you can. There's usually around 7 players targeted, so you'll be able to clear out a few double stacks as well. Make sure someone is always clearing the tank lane if a tank doesn't end up getting targeted with the backhand. And then the whole fight repeats over and over until the end of the fight. There should always be at least 2 walls left over after each wall break set, which makes it super important to spawn new walls in lanes with fewer or no walls, aside from the safe lane, which should never have any walls in it. And it's equally as important to make sure that you're breaking and stacking breaks in lanes with the most walls in them. On Heroic, breaking a wall spawns a bunch of little circles to dodge. Also on Heroic, there's some big circles that go out on random players. The big circles can happen around the same time as wall breaks, so you really need to spread out, especially ranged players, to give everyone room. You can run super far back with the big circles if needed, but don't get walled out, that would not be good. The last thing to mention is that the 6 crystals in the back of the room do a bunch of damage to anyone standing in the beam, so try to avoid the line as much as possible and quickly move away from them after you break a wall. And that's pretty much it. Here's a quick recap for you to review or screenshot for later. You can find all of our recaps over at the Ready Check Pull Discord. Big thank you to our supporters on Patreon. We've got a ton of Patreon exclusive content coming this tier, like early access, extended heroic walkthroughs, and a bunch more. So check out the Discord and Patreon links below. Peace.